Hey guys, it's Dez. Welcome back to Halloweek. So again, Halloweek is our apology for all the camera issues we've been having this past week. It's been downright spooky. Sorry. Anyway, so we're missing some normal content. All of our co-op stuff and our random Sunday stuff didn't show up this week. But instead, I'm extending your Halloween fun with telling you stories, true real-life stories from my personal life about some weird stuff that was going on. Last week, I told you guys about the advent of them. The only story that's kind of like 1.5 hand. It didn't happen to me, but I was present at the time. Everything else here is something that happened to me. So I want to tell you about socks and light bulbs. So them, like I said last week, are just kind of a mischievous entity that lived with my roommates and I. That's all we really know about them. In fact, we dubbed them. We don't know what's going on. Anyway, here's some classic them stuff that happened here. One day I'm getting ready for work and I'm trying to go, and I'm like one of the last humans on the face of the planet that from the moment I started doing my own laundry to this very day at 33 years old, I still pair and fold all of my socks. It has to be the right pair. I can't even if they're two short socks but they don't match, they're not the same short sock, no. It's got to be the matching socks. To this day, matching socks, folded, put away. That's important to know because this day I open my sock drawer, pull out a pair of socks, and I go and I sit down and put my socks down. And I sit down and I look at my hand and there's one sock in my hand. Now, first time it's like, oops, little mistake, whatever. I walk from the couch back to my drawer looking at the floor and I'm trying to see if I dropped it anywhere, looking all around. Didn't see anything. I figured it was just a mistake. So I set that sock in the hamper. And that's how I recycle socks that are loan socks. I put them back in the hamper, hoping someday they'll find a pair. Set it back in the hamper, and I go back, and I look through my sock drawer, and I see a pair that I know is a folded pair. Guaranteed folded pair. I grab it in my hand, and I go sit down. And I sit down on the couch, and there is one sock in my hand. And I'm thinking, okay, now this is weird. But still, it could be a mistake. It could be something strange. So I go and I put that sock also in the hamper. And I go and I grab a folded pair of socks out. I count 1, 2. Okay, good, got it. And I go sit down on the couch and there is one sock in my hand. And by this time, I'm freaking out and I'm like, no, thank you. This is weird. And I stare at the floor and I am looking anywhere for some salvation of my sanity, that there is a pile of socks somewhere on the ground, but there's nowhere to be found, nothing. And so at that point, I go back to my hamper. I have one sock in this hand. I grab one of the clean socks out in my other hand, and I literally have to walk back to the couch like this, arms in the air, socks hanging from it, to sit down and be able to have two socks by the time I get back to the couch. Now that's really weird, but even then, you could say to yourself, Des, maybe you just had a super weird day. Maybe you were freaking out. Maybe you were sleep deprived. I don't know, whatever it was. Maybe it was a mistake on your part. Fast forward about 3 weeks, right? We were having blackouts at the time. This is the Southern California time of Schwarzenegger's rolling blackouts. And so we had some blackouts in the area, and every little once in a while, the blackouts would cause a power surge, and light bulbs would go out. Little annoying, nothing terrible. Well, all 4 bulbs in our ceiling fan had gone out. And so all 4 of these bulbs have gone out, and my roommate Dan is going to change them. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on the couch playing Silent Hill 3, of course, because it has to be nice and creepy, right? I'm sitting on the couch playing Silent Hill 3. Dan is there, and he's going to change out all the light bulbs. And so he's got a box of 4 bulbs, and he unscrews one bulb from the lamp, puts a burnt-out bulb in this hand, takes a clean bulb out, puts the next one in. Unscrews a burnt-out bulb, puts it in this hand, so he's got one in each, finger area here. Takes out a good bulb, screws it back in, unscrews a bulb, goes to put it in this hand, and he's got one bulb in his hand. And he's thinking to himself, oh no, I dropped a light bulb. We got to find it. So Steve, I dropped a light bulb. We need to find this because we can't have shattered glass on the floor. Of course we can't. So I am on my hands and knees looking underneath desks, around tables, everything to find this light bulb. There is nothing there. I finally have to tell him, Dan, that there's nothing here, dude. We can't find it. He's been looking around as well. He says, okay, well, we'll just keep going. He's still got the burnt out bulb in his hand, and he's still got a box of 2 good light bulbs. So he takes the third bulb out, puts it in his hand, takes a good light bulb out, screws it in, pulls out the final light bulb, goes to put it back in his hand, and he's got 1 light bulb in his hand. He ends up with 2 broken light bulbs. Same thing, that panic moment of, okay, hold on a second, I must have dropped another one. We look everywhere. No light bulbs anywhere. Of course, I think of my sock situation, and I remind him of that because I told him about that. We look all over the place. In fact, we remembered those moments to the very day that we moved out. And when we were pulling all of our stuff out of that apartment, we were hoping upon hope to find light bulbs or socks somewhere to justify our sanity. And there was nothing to be found. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on Halloweek.